Coming up on Network Africa. West African deportees from the U.S. sue Ghana's government over what it calls illegal detention. G20 Young Entrepreneurs Summit kicks off in Johannesburg to drive global youth-led economic growth. Plus, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa meets with the Democratic Republic of Congo's President Felix Tshisekedi after the regional summit on the DRC crisis. Hello and welcome to the program. It's the last episode for the week. I'm Layo Olarinde. 11 people detained in Ghana after being deported from the US have sued the West African nation's government. Their lawyer, Olivia Barker-Vomawo, says the deportees had not violated any Ghanaian law and their detention in the military camp is therefore illegal. According to him, they want the government to produce the group in court and justify why they were being held against their will. Well, the government is yet to comment on the lawsuit, but has previously said that it plans to accept another 40 deportees from the US. Opposition members of parliament are demanding the immediate suspension of the deportation deal until parliament ratifies it, saying this was required under Ghanaian law. In the meantime, President John Dramani Mahama claims that African youth prefer to live under military rule, according to a survey, even as he called for a reset of democracy in Accra, the Ghanaian capital. He was speaking at the 2025 Democracy Dialogue on Wednesday, and this marks the fourth edition in a series of annual dialogues designed to promote democracy and good governance in West Africa. This year's summit was themed, "Why Do Democracies Die?" President Mahama went on to note that many African nations, including Ghana and Nigeria, experienced repeated cycles of military coups, noting that the initial post-independence excitement has faded, largely because democratic governments had often failed to deliver.
If we came under self-rule and we governed ourselves, prosperity will naturally come. Unfortunately, Ghana, again, the pioneer in most things, quickly dispatched our first president in a coup, and then our Nigerian cousins also followed, and all the other countries followed. And our countries went under military rule. It's been a rotating window of military governments return to constitutional democracy, military governments return to constitutional democracy. That should make us ask ourselves questions about why democracies die. And that's why the topic of today is relevant. What are the things we need to do to sustain democracy? Democracy will not survive by itself if we don't work for it. And like Omar Toure said, whatever system of government you have, autocracy, democracy, theocracy, whatever, if it does not deliver opportunities and prosperity to the people, it will not survive. It was clear that the excitement had completely disappeared.
The G20 Young Entrepreneurs Alliance Summit 2025 is underway in Johannesburg, South Africa. Organizers say the gathering is set to shape global conversations on innovation, trade, digital technology, sustainability, and youth-led economic growth. The summit draws some of the world's brightest young entrepreneurs alongside African business leaders, corporate executives and government officials. Our South Africa correspondent Innocent Samosa has more in this report.
It's often said that young people are the future of the continent. But today we talk of young people as a lost generation. And the question is, if these young people are lost, whose fault is it? Is it because the leaders have lost touch with young people? in terms of mentoring them, or the question goes deeper? Here at the G20 Entrepreneur Summit, I had a chat with young people who are saying that it's time to change the status quo.
So for me, it's mostly an opportunity where someone sees what I've already done so far, how much I've invested so far on my own, and say we are willing to put in something here to show that we can support you guys and not just make it about, oh, our youth are lazy, they don't want to do anything. We are out here, we're trying to do something, we want support. And it's mostly like, so far I've been getting more of, okay, I want to put money in your business so that I get something out of it.
I don't have a problem of funding. I have a problem with expanding my business, because I don't only want to focus on the medical faculties. I also want to broaden my market to...
But what type of resources would you need to expand your business? Because I guess funding is part of it, is it not?
Yes, funding could play part of it. But what I'm looking for more is partnership.
I had the opportunity to engage with Japanese entrepreneurs who highlighted some unique business opportunities available for African entrepreneurs in Japan.
Japón está muy cerrado país, entonces quiero cambiar eso para jóvenes.
Japan offers a wide range of business opportunities for young South Africans, particularly in sectors where the two countries' strengths complement each other. One promising area is technology and innovation. Japan is a global leader in robotics, renewable energy, advanced manufacturing and digital transformation, while South Africa has a growing pool of young tech talent and entrepreneurs eager to scale solutions across Africa.
For the next coming 2 days, young people will converge here. Policymakers and business leaders will be transferring skills, and many of them are quite excited about what's to come next. From Johannesburg, South Africa, Innocent Simos, Channels Television News.
We're in Chad now. This week's move by the President, Mahama to extend presidential term limits and allow unlimited renewals carries significant implication for the country, the Central African region, and the neighboring Sahel and Western African countries. Well, on Monday, the government opened the process of revising its constitution with a preliminary vote on extending the presidential term and other institutional reforms, paving the way for a decisive legislative debate. During the plenary session, the National Assembly approved the consideration of a constitutional bill introducing several political and institutional changes. While this initial vote does not yet amend the Constitution of December 29, 2023, it clears the way for substantive debate in the weeks ahead. Back here in Nigeria, the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has returned to Port Harcourt, the state capital. He arrived at the Port Harcourt International Airport around 12:19 p.m. today, more than 24 hours after President Bola Tinubu lifted the 6-month emergency rule in the state. The governor was received by a large crowd of supporters who had gathered at the VIP wing of the airport in anticipation of his arrival. The governor then proceeded to the governor's lodge alongside his wife, Valerie, his deputy, Professor Ngozi Ojo, and other officials to inspect the premises. Speaking to journalists, Governor Fubara expressed gratitude for the warm reception he received at the airport and the crowd that gathered at the government house yesterday, describing it as a display of love and solidarity. He gave assurances that his administration would remain committed to policies and actions that improve the lives of the people of Rivers State. He also announced that he would address the state in a broadcast at 6 p.m. today.
I know everyone wants to hear something from me. In fact, you expected it when I landed from the aircraft. Let me first of all appreciate the wonderful people of River State. I am really humbled by what I saw at the airport. I was also briefed with some photographs of what happened here yesterday. That reception really humbled me. It showed love, confidence, and solidarity. I want to say that it is not just the celebration, the massive reception by the number of people who came out to celebrate, but a display or reaffirmation of the bond between this government and the people that we are serving. I want to assure you that we will, by the grace of God, continue to do those things that has made you people love us. I want to appreciate everyone and to say that we love you. We are going to address the state officially by 6 p.m. this evening, and in that state broadcast, every other person, every personality, every authority that gives support to this normalcy will be properly recognized. Thank you.
Still in Nigeria, the federal government has flagged off a solarization project at the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital to end years of reliance on the national grid, with power outages costing the facility over 200 million naira yearly. Officials say the project will guarantee stable electricity and better healthcare delivery. Our correspondent Sadiq Eliasu reports.
Doctors, nurses and management gathered at the Malam Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital as the federal government unveils a new solar power project. The Chief Medical Director, Professor Abdurrahman Shishi, said the intervention comes after years of poor power supply that threatened medical services.
Power is a lifeline in hospitals. And it's a realization of this that made the honorable member Abba Kabir to say, we must do something immediately about this. The recent event that happened, that occurred in the hospital, is quite disturbing. And President Ahmad Bola Tinubu was very worried about it. And he immediately directed to the honorable minister and the Minister of Science and Technology to move forward and come to Kano. So something will be done in order to alleviate the sufferance and those things that happened, so that it will never happen again in the history of Nigeria.
The 12 billion naira project follows a recent incident when the Kano Electricity Distribution Company cut off power to the hospital. The blackout allegedly led to loss of lives. The House Committee Chairman on Appropriation defended the huge investment, saying energy costs have been a burden on hospitals nationwide. Chairman Abba Bichi praised President Bola Tinubu for the intervention. He said similar projects will be extended to other hospitals and higher institutions.
We provided about around 300 billion in 2025 for all our tertiary medical institutions, as well as all our federal universities. Here in Kano, Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital will go with 6 to 7 megawatt of solarizations. Bayero University Kano will go with about 5 to 6 megawatt as well.
The Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Chief Uche Geoffrey, said the project is part of a wider plan to solarize health facilities across the country.
The generous appropriation, championed by Honorable Bichi and the National Assembly, provides the fuel. Our technical expertise provides the engine. Together, we will deliver a project that will completely take AKTH off the national grid, ensuring an uninterrupted power supply for its over 700 beds.
With the project, authorities say critical medical services, including surgeries and emergency care, will no longer be interrupted by power failures. Sadiq Ilyasu, Channels Television News.
We'll take a break now on the program. Still to come. On our Africa Tech segment, a Nigerian student develops a smart glove to convert sign language into speech. Please join us again. Welcome back to the program. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has hosted his counterpart Felix Tshisekedi of the Democratic Republic of Congo in Pretoria for a working visit. Their discussions focused on strengthening economic and security cooperation, as well as coordinating positions on key regional and international issues. President Tshisekedi was accompanied by Deputy Prime Minister of Defense Guy Kabongo, his Foreign Minister Therese Wagner, and the Finance Minister Dudu Fwamba. This comes after President Tshisekedi had turned down an invitation for a regional summit on the DRC crisis, which hosted representatives of the M23 rebels and other opposition groups. It was organized by the Thabo Mbeki Foundation and held earlier this month. Well, South Africa and the United States have exchanged trade proposals. This is according to the minister in the presidency, Kumbunzo Ncheveni, and this is following a decision by the U.S. to impose 30% tariff increase to South Africa on goods imported locally from August. Minister Ncheveni further added that the agreement or disagreement with the U.S., if reached, will be made public by the government. She was addressing the media in Pretoria, South Africa.
With the U.S., there's a team that is led by the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, Minister Tau, but it is outside of him. There's a special envoy of the President, who's a special advisor of the President, Mr. Dr. Alistair Reuters, who has been in the U.S. and he has remained there. He was working with the DG of DTSC, and they've been meeting with the trade. The U.S. Trade Council to finalize the deal, because what may be in between the cabinet briefings, we had proposed a deal with the U.S. They responded by giving us their counter proposal, so we then sent a team to engage on the details of what the U.S. has proposed, because even in the U.S. proposal, there's an acknowledgement that there must be discussions and negotiations, and it's for that reason that Minister Tau then left in advance to go and have those discussions. Minister Lamula has always been engaging his counterpart on opening the pathways. But what is fundamental is that the U.S. and South Africa are continuing to engage on the proposals on the table so that we can find a common ground.
Here in Lagos, the wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, has launched the Measles Rubella vaccination campaign, calling on parents, guardians, and community leaders to ensure that every eligible child is immunized. Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu was speaking at a stakeholders engagement at Alausa Ikeja, describing the campaign as a reflection of the state government's determination to safeguard the future of children and protect generations yet unborn from preventable diseases.
State Governor Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu leads an awareness to sensitize the public on the launch of measles rubella vaccination. They moved from Alausa to Ikeja, distributing flyers to motorists on the need to protect the future and get every child vaccinated. After the walk, the team moves to the First Lady's Banquet Hall to meet with key stakeholders in the health sector to introduce the measles and rubella vaccine in Lagos.
After Democratic Republic of Congo, we are the leading cause of nations contributing to the burden of measles in the world. There is need for us to collaborate between us and the community at large in order to ensure that we have better vaccine acceptance and improved public health outcomes.
Some of the partners say Lagos State has constantly sustained the drive of routine immunization, and the campaign against measles rubella must be achieved.
If you look at the performance of Lagos State, it's also reflective of that effort. Routine immunization coverage is one of the highest in the country. It's in the 80s for Penta 3. If I look at the numbers here, yes, Penta 3 coverage is 87.6%.
This campaign, scheduled for January 2026, is not merely a medical exercise. It is a moral imperative. It is a promise that we make to our future generations, a promise of health, opportunity, and life itself.
Global trend of measles cases rose from 8.6 million in 2022 to over 10 million in 2023, with number of countries experiencing major outbreaks increasing from 36 to 57. Rubella cases present with mild fever, rash that is discreet and appears like a heat rash. Dr. Bijoke Sanwo-Olu says the campaign is a proactive step by the Lagos State government to address public health concerns and reduce the incidence of measles and rubella, which can cause serious complications and long-term health issues in children.
Measles can lead to blindness, brain damage, and even death, while rubella is particularly devastating in pregnancy, causing birth defects such as deafness. These outcomes are tragic, yet completely preventable. If you're a grandmother here, a mother, a sister, a grandfather, you must be part of the advocate and tell our females to go and take their immunization. Complete it. Yes, maybe we've missed it. We didn't have rubella vaccine in our immunization schedule, but now we want it to be there.
Starting from January 2026, the measles rubella vaccines will be administered free to children from 9 months to 14 years of age. The campaign is designed for broad accessibility, with vaccination posts to be set up at all government health facilities and designated school-based sites across Lagos State.
Welcome to our Africa Tech segment. A Nigerian student has created a smart glove to help convert sign language to speech. Mohammed Husseini, a student of the Department of Computer and Communications Engineering at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University in Bauchi, calls it the NHED Smart Glove. This advanced wearable device converts sign language into spoken words. The innovation, born out of a personal story, is powered by artificial intelligence and, according to him, is set to transform communication for all people with speech or hearing impairments. He says he plans to make major improvements to the current prototype, noting that he would expand the vocabulary it can handle and the glove's structure as well, increasing it from 5 to 10 fingers.
So the project or the device is still very much under construction. It's a prototype now, and it has faced so many challenges in terms of accuracy and efficiency. Like, for instance, there's limited sensors. I had to work with limited materials, so I had to cut corners when it comes to giving out quick and responsive output. And then there are limited vocabularies, although it has a potential of acquiring over 1,000 vocabularies. But currently we're working with just about 3 or 4 vocabularies, and I want it to be 10 fingers, not just 5 fingers. But the major challenge I had was lack of resources, such as a personal computer. I was in a situation whereby I had to be borrowing people's laptop, writing my code here, transferring to another person's laptop if the owner of the initial laptop collects it. So that's one of the major challenges I faced. And then secondly, I faced challenges of materials. The raw materials I used were limited and some were not even available at all. I had to order them online. And then upon coming into a work at Safar Balewa University, I got exposure, meet so many people of different like minds, and then we also worked with so many things. We worked on so many projects together.
And as we end the program, here's our fun fact about the continent. Did you know that Uganda is famously known as the Pearl of Africa for its stunning natural beauty and biodiversity? The country is home to a variety of landscapes, including lush forests, snow-capped mountains, and rolling savannas teeming with wildlife. The nickname Pearl of Africa was popularized by Winston Churchill in his 1908 book, My African Journey, where he praised Uganda's beauty, pleasant climate, and captivating scenery. Uganda is also celebrated for its warm and welcoming people, vibrant cultural heritage, and rich history. And that's it on the program for today and for the week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Olangu.